Patch 15.9 is Set 15's final patch as we move towards the release of Set 16 on the 3rd of December. So in this video, we'll be going over our full tier list, breaking down the best S tier comps, the A and B tier comps too, and ranking the hero augments at the end. If you want to dive more into Set 16, you can check out everything that's new on our website and see our PvE team comps there as well. So give them a go if you haven't already. Let's get into it then, and for the second patch running, Double Trouble Malzahar is the best comp in the game you can play. You can only lock this comp in on 2-1 as it requires the Double Trouble augment, and your goal will be to get level 7 and 3-star your main carries Malzahar and Darius, and Rammus as your tank too. You don't need to build utility items because you'll be playing around the Noxus Trap power up, making Malzahar shred Sunder and spread anti-heal all at the same time. So focus on items like Death Cap, Jeweled Gauntlet and Nash's Tooth to maximise his damage. For Darius's items, you can go for the classic melee damage setup with BT, Steraks and Titans. His best power up is Rocket Grab, pulling in all the enemies so he can dunk in one spot. Then you can slam all of your tank items onto your 3-star Rammus in the front line. Another S tier version of Malzahar is playing him with 6 heavyweights too. This is still extremely strong this patch, and it got buffed too with the Fusion Dance power up being re-added into the game, making your Darius absorb Jayce's stats. So if you get this one, make sure to slam Warmogs and Deathblades onto Jayce to buff up your Darius even more. Mighty Mech is back in the S tier too after the buffs to Karma and Senna, giving it the damage that the comp seriously needed. This is a fast 8 comp, so if you have a Mighty Mech opener and a solid econ augment, then type in the chat me Mech and mute all. Instead of using the Mech pilot power-ups like you did before though, you want to buff up your Karma and Yone instead. Karma will take Mage or Efficient paired with a blue buff, Morello and Void Staff, so she'll be casting non-stop, spreading her utility and doing big damage. Yone can take Double Strike or Final Boss and then look to build Giant Slayer to shred through tanks, BT and Edge of Night to drop aggro. Once level 8, look to activate 5 Mighty Mech with an upgraded Karma and Jarvan, and then you can push level 9 to bring in the big units like Yone and Lee Sin. Another S tier comp you'll all be familiar with is Soul Fighters, and they are still just as strong as ever and can farm you easy LP, and they also made Viego and Edgelord too, which can help buff up your Samira without the help of Volibear. Like always, look to play around a strong opener as it's hard to win out with Soul Fighters, so you ideally want to save HP and be way ahead of tempo. An early Neferi or Kalista too will allow you to streak through stage 2 and you'll be extremely rich going into the mid game. For items, you want Infinity Edge, Last Whisper and Striker's Flail on Samira as she's your main damage carry, and look for the On the Edge power up for the boosted damage amp. Set is your main tank and can take any defensive items, but look for Gargoyle's Stoneplate in particular so you can solo frontline him with standalone. If you have leftover AP, throw them on Gwen, as this unit upgraded with 8 Soul Fighters does some serious damage and will help Samira clean up. No nerfs to Juggernauts or any 5 cost this patch, so our Juggernaut Jackpot comp remains in the S tier and is still the strongest Fast 9 board you can play. This board is only playable with an insane amount of gold, and you really need augments like Level Up, Upward Mobility or Hedge Fund, or look for encounters like Crab Rave, Scuttle Puddle or Gold Subscription. You can also play this one if you have a Golden Edge Gnar with a Rage Blade, or even better a Gambler's Blade on stage 2-1, and it'll be raining gold before you know it. You ideally want to skip stage 4 completely, so it can be important to win streak early game to save you the health so you can spend all of your money at level 9. Once level 9, stack your attack speed items onto TF, AD items onto Lee Sin, and AP onto Xayah, and tank items onto Set. With all your 5 costs upgraded with a 6 Juggernaut frontline, you'll be well on your way to that first place finish. Akali remains in the S tier 2 with no nerfs coming her way, and if you have great positioning, it's really easy to streak with your board upgraded and punish your enemies. This one is a fast 8 comp which does require the perfect items to execute. Akali really shines with double Nash's Tooth and a QSS, and combine this with the Crimson Veil power up and your Akali will go crazy. Place your Akali on either A3 or A5, which will make her dash onto the enemy's cornered carries, getting rid of the enemy threat almost immediately and allowing you to clean up the rest of the board easily. This comp also uses a lot of other traits to help your Akali out, so units like Jarvan, Cassante and Darius will all play key roles activating loads of traits, so make sure you look out for Bronze for Life too. Star Guardians also got buffed this patch, making their Breakpoint mana go from 18,500 to 16,000, making it easier to get that prismatic trait online. The main carries remain the same, with Jinx being your main damage deal with Infinity Edge, Spear of Shojin and Giant Slayer paired with the Gather Force power up. Make Poppy your main tank with Warmogs, Gargoyles and a Steadfast Heart with the Tank Zealot or Body Change power-ups, and then leftover items can be placed onto Seraphine, with the Thief's Gloves being ideal as she uses all stats super well. With that prismatic trait threshold lower though, look out for more mana items like Shojin or Blue Buff, as putting these on Ahri might make the difference in seeing the stars rain down. Battle Academia is still doing solid too and can farm easy top 4s, but they also changed the threshold for Prismatic from 160 items down to 140. Play around this comp with a Prodigy opener or even Battle Academia opener with AP items to slam because you can't get enough of rods in this comp. This is a fast state comp, so we ideally want econ augments and to focus on our gold so we can bring in our main carries like Yuumi, who wants a Gunblade to heal the front line, followed by Archangels and Jewel Gauntlet for more damage. For power up, she works best with Bullet Hell or Super Genius. Leona can be your main tank, so throw Warmogs, Gargoyles and a Steadfast on her and she'll be super tanky. If you do 2-star Cassante first, then throw items onto him instead, and you can always remove later once you 2-star Leona. This comp spikes super hard once you activate 5 Prodigy with Seraphine, so once you roll down on level 8 and have your upgraded forecast, push levels for a Seraphine 2 and sit back, relax and watch her nuke enemy boards. Katarina still remains the best 2-cost reroll comp in set 15 with no nerfs once again this patch. So if you get an early 2-star Katarina with scaling power-ups like over 9000 max Arcana or even not done yet, this comp spikes and scales super hard. As we want both Rakan and Katarina 3, our goal will be to go straight to level 6 and then start our slow roll strategy. Throw items like Hand of Justice and Edge of Night on Katarina, then flex between Striker's Flail and Nash's Tooth to make her an absolute beast. There's also a few positioning tricks you can do with the Unstoppable power-up on Rakan, and if you want to read more about those tricks, head to the full guide on our website. Moving into the A tier next then, and both Caitlyn and Jayce got buffs in 15.9, as well as the early item holder Ezreal too. So if you've got loads of BF swords, give this one a go to finish the set off strong. Karma also got buffed, so Sorcs are back on the menu and finally looking much more playable again. So if you have a mighty mech opener and a ton of AP components, give this one a go. Our Bastion Fast 9 comp is also still a great option to play this patch, but you will need a lot of gold to get it online, as its main carries are the 5-cost Seraphine, TF, Braum and Xayah. Kayle Reroll is still a really fun comp to play too, but only in the right games and with the right spots, as you need a ton of early Kayles and hopefully Zacs too, and plenty of bows and rods. But if you get level 9 with a 3-star Kayle, you'll always have a chance to win. Crystal Gambit Ashe remains a very strong high risk, high reward comp to go for too, especially with augments like Calculated Loss or Titanic Titan. But if you reach level 8 with 5 Crystal Gambit activated and a 2-star Ashe, you'll scale and ramp up into a very hard board to beat. Mentor Janna was a great comp last patch and still got a lot of playtime despite not being as strong as it was the patch before, but now with the buffs to Kobuko, it's back up in the A tier. If you get an early 2-star Kai'Sa with good items, she can also scale up to be a serious threat this patch too. So definitely give her a go if you have the right opener for it. If you get artifact augments like Living Forge, then you definitely need to still keep playing Kog'Maw, as Static Shiv, Flicker Blades, Dawncore or Lichbane all make him go from an A tier comp to an S tier one. Xayah Bastions can also be a fantastic comp to play this patch if you hit early attack speed items and open the game with upgraded Bastion units. You can also play this comp with strong reroll augments like Too Much Value or Prismatic Ticket. Finally, our last A tier comp this patch is Smolder, which revolves around the Heavyweights frontline, capping out around Smolder, Darius and Jayce, all 3-starred and itemized. In the B tier, we have the Fast 9 Varus, which is a good alternative option if you hit a 2-star Varus from augments like Aura Farming or Golden Quest. Crew is still more than playable from the right spots with tons of crew units early on. Stretchy Arms Viego makes a comeback this patch too with the return of the power up, and finally Gangplank makes a comeback too with 2 different comps you can play. One is playing around Duelist with double Shojin and Gunblade with Gather Force, or the other is Stretchy Arms with Mentor units, which was one of the most broken comps in the game just a few months ago. Finally, for the hero augments, Garen moves up to the S tier as Ezreal got buffed, and this comp works really well with him and the double down power up making Garen even stronger. Then in the A tier we have Shen, Mundo and Vi, in the B tier we have Malphite, Zac and Kennen, and finally in the C tier we have Nico's hero augment too. And that brings us to the end of our quick patch 15.9 tier list video in Teamfight Tactics. Don't forget to boot up the full tier list by clicking the link below and download our overlay to follow these comps in game. Thanks for watching guys, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.